Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your main man, Coach Eric Schwafel, and I want to tell you a quick story about behavior change and how you can possibly use this to help out your situation too. So, a few scientists, what they wanted to do is they wanted to change and see if they could change the behavior of a shark. So, what they did is they took a tank and they placed a shark inside of the tank. And immediately, what they did is they wanted to test out what the reaction would be if they placed some bait, if they placed some fish in the tank along with the shark. And as you can imagine, bam, the shark went right after the fish, ate them up, everything was good. They wrote it down, they documented it, and the next time that they repeated this experiment, what they decided to do was place a divider in between the fish and the shark. So now the tank was divided into two separate compartments, right? Well, right when they put the bait in one section and the shark was in the other, what do you think happened? The shark went directly towards that bait as fast as he could, but since there was a divider there, he hit it and he was stopped immediately right in his tracks. Do you think the shark gave up on the first try, or on the second, or on the third? No, absolutely not. The shark kept going for a whole another hour until it stopped. And you can imagine that's a pretty long time. What if you were beating your head up against a wall for an hour? You'd be ready to stop too. The scientists, they repeated this experiment over the coming days and coming weeks, and each time they did it, what they noticed is the shark's time, the reaction time of it trying to get the fish, it went down. It no longer took an hour, it took less time, 45 minutes, 30, until eventually it came to the point where the shark didn't even go after the bait anymore. They were able to lift up the divider and the fish were able to surround the shark with no problem. They effectively changed the behavior of the shark. Pretty cool, right? Now let's take this to two different extremes. The first extreme is going to be towards the negative spot, right? They took away its drive. This shark now associates pain with food because every time it went after its food, it knocked up against the divider, and it hit itself, it hurt itself. So it's not even going to go after it. That killer instinct that was once there is now gone. How many times have you hit your head up against the wall when you were trying to get something, but you couldn't do it? You just couldn't get it. Don't get me wrong, it's okay. But over time, we start to become numb to the things that we tolerate. We don't even notice anymore. Think about maybe an abusive relationship where the person being abused actually defends the person abusing them, right? We become conditioned for that stuff. But here's the other cool thing too. If you look at it in a more positive light, it only took one thing for that shark to stop going after the fish. It took one thing over time, right? Placing that divider in between the fish. And over time, what ended up happening is that shark changed. So we can take this both ways, y'all. It can be as simple as just putting one thing between you and that bad habit, one thing in between you and that food, one thing in between you and whatever it is that you want to change. Or it can take one thing that you need to remove from life in order to make it so much more effective. So take this story, right? If you want to change your behavior, just like the scientists changed the behavior of the shark, it only takes one thing. It only takes one thing done repeatedly over time in order to elicit that change. If we can change the behavior of a shark, something that smells blood from miles away and is able to find the fish and eat it almost immediately, into not even wanting to go after the fish at all, then we can definitely change ourselves. So this is an encourager, this is a reminder to stick with that one thing. Stick with that one thing for several days, for several weeks, until it becomes a habit, until it's second nature, until you don't even think about it anymore, until you don't even notice the thing that was on the other side. And that is what's going to change your life. It's that simple, it's that easy, but it takes time. It takes effort. It takes a little bit of accountability because those scientists were watching over that shark. And if those are things that you need, if that's what you're looking for is to transform your life, I urge you to find a coach that cares enough to put their effort and their energy into you. Because it's so easy to find a coach who will take your money, but not one necessarily that will care about your results. Place that divider up between you and whatever you need it to be, and take action. And know this shit works. It works. It just takes time. I love you. Have a great day. You're unstoppable. Peace.